All right, let y'all, a couple of y'all join up before I start running my mouth. I got the scoop. I got the translation on Mike McCarthy. We go way back and shit. Like what I'm saying, like food stamps. There's only one of y'all in here. I'll wait till some more of y'all join up before I start talking. All right. Alpha Mason, what up, boy? Going by Owen. You going by Owen? That sounds like you a serial killer or something. You just hide. All right, let's get this started. And he said, "What up, bro? What's up, man? What's up with you?" It's four of y'all in here. I guess the rest of y'all at lunch and at work and shit. It's a Friday. We ain't got shit to do, so let's talk about it, man. I'll be right, man. I'll be right. Every time I speak, people arguing, but I'll be right. I said Mike McCarthy was not happy with the way Kellen was calling plays, and he said a few things in that press conference that pointed me to exactly what I was thinking anyway. Yo, Wiggle Bell, salute, man. Salute. My neck was stiff as shit yesterday. I was supposed to go live and talk about this shit yesterday, but it's still a little stiff, but it was stiff as hell yesterday. I was like, man, I just need to rest. You know what I mean? But all right, let's go. Mike McCarthy had a press conference the other day. I know you all know, probably watched it and so on. And he was saying certain things where I'm like, oh, damn. You know what I mean? That was a stab. Not just the stabs, though. It was one thing in particular, and this don't need to be a real long video because it's not a whole lot, but one thing in particular that he pointed out that made a lot of sense to me is when he said that Kellen, not only wants to light the scoreboard up, but that he wants to run the ball to save his defense, right? And he said when we had that moment in the season when we were playing complementary football, I think that's more indicative of what we are as a team and how we want to play than what we saw after. And I thought that Brian Schottenheimer may have had some influence in the offense this season during Cooper Rush's phase, right? I thought so because it didn't look like Kellen football at all. And we were winning with Cooper Rush, who was a lesser quarterback, right? So as soon as that came back, it was like the offense switched again. And when he said when we were playing complementary football early in the season, I think that's more indicative of how we want to play. That's letting you know that was Mike McCarthy's way of playing football early in the season. Everything else you saw after that was Kellen, and that's what Mike was saying. That's what he said out of his own mouth, right? So I felt like that already. I said that when we hired Brian Schottenheimer, I thought that maybe that he had some influence during the season during that time. Texas D903 said, "What it do, brother? AKOYE gave me a super chat. I appreciate it. When you throw those super chats up, you can always let me know, what players you want me to mess with too. Which ones you want me to break down. I appreciate it. Thank you, sir. Got to unchap these lips, man. I was resting. I hit Sadiqa up yesterday. She was like, "Why you ain't going live?" I said, "Man, my neck was messed up." But yeah, basically, when you listen to what he was saying or listen in between what he's saying, he said, "I've been with Kellen this before." And basically, we're on two different ends of the spectrum. He basically said, like, "Young boy, pipe down. I know what I'm doing. You don't know what the fuck you're doing." You know what I mean? He's like, "You want to light the scoreboard up. You want to score, but I need my defense to rest." That lets you know that Kellen wasn't running the ball enough or he wasn't running with a purpose. And for him to have to say that, he said, if you look at what this offense was in 2020 versus what it is in 2022, we've been trending in the direction that I want to go in anyway. So he's been trying to get Kellen to run the ball more. And I think the only reason that he ran as much as he did this season and last season is because Mike McCarthy told him to. But that also speaks to the fact that we all said Kellen runs the ball as if he's running the ball for numbers, meaning I'm going to run the ball just so you don't say I'm not running the ball. But he's not running the ball in a way that is like, hey, this is our identity. It's just something I got to throw out here. So for those who say that we weren't as effective in the run game, that's why. That's why. So it was a lot of shots taken in that video. Greedy Vegan, what up, man? It was a lot of shots taken in that video, and I was kind of happy about that, to be honest with you, because it just lets me know that Mike McCarthy ain't blind. He can see what we can see. When he was talking about how good this defense is, he was talking about how we need to rest this defense. He's letting you know that a lot of the games that we might have struggled in or had some issues in was due to the fact that we weren't protecting the football in the second quarter, primarily for this defense. We weren't doing enough. Hold on a second. Yo, babe. What's what? I drew on a mango. I'm on live right now. Yeah. All right. Bye. Yeah, come on. Stop interrupting me. All right. But then, yeah, but it lets you know that basically Kellen Moore, he had a problem with the way Kellen Moore was protecting the football in the second quarter, and he voiced it. And I don't think they're as friendly as they make it seem in the media. He doesn't want to shit on Kellen Moore like outright, but what he did at their press conference was anything short of that. Like if you got any sense, you see where all the shits were taken. You know what I'm saying? Like when he said that Kellen Moore definitely didn't run the ball enough and he wants to run the ball a little bit more and Kellen wants to light the scoreboard up, but he wants to be the number one team in the league and not the number one offense. He's letting you know everything he's thinking right there that Kellen was more so geared towards just getting his numbers right, but not winning. You know what I mean? And Mike McCarthy he pointed that out, which he didn't have to. So the fact that he was pointing it out lets you know that he didn't just say, "Oh, Kellen's gonna be fine over there where he at," and I don't got nothing to say about that. Next question. He could have did that. He didn't. The fact that he didn't lets you know he wanted to stick some put some grease in it. Like he really didn't, like Kellen Moore very much near the end. You can tell that based off of the tone and based off the fact that he was just so willing to explain himself. And Mike McCarthy doesn't. He's very tactful. He understands how to speak. He understands how to speak. And when he did that, I was like, "Oh damn, Mike throwing shots after shots after shots." He beat the shit out of Kellen Moore in that whole press conference. I'm like, "Damn!" So it was funny to me. That was funny to me. Hold on a second. Let me see what else y'all talking about here. Owen WCO West Coast offense uses short passes as a part of the run game, so a 1 yard pass is really a run. Facts, that's true. They were talking about the fact that Mike McCarthy. I think Shannon pointed out Mike McCarthy didn't run the ball a lot in their Super Bowl, but they threw the ball in a West Coast fashion, so they do count those as runs. You are right. You throw it to their running back. They just want to get the ball in their running back's hands and try to get 5 yards on any given short play and work up the field methodically and also pull the defense closer to the line of scrimmage so you have more wiggle room deep when you want to go deep. So those concepts you saw, and we saw those concepts with Cooper Rush. Cooper Rush didn't have to think a lot. It wasn't a lot that he had to do when he was in there. That was more so the idea: run the ball, work off of play action, and throw the ball short, and possession your way up the field, and then make plays in a timely fashion when you have to. That's what he was doing. Make sure y'all hit that like button. Ruglock, I see you in here. Salute, Jazzy Jeff, I see you in here, bro. He said, "I just got mad at Kellen Moore all over again." Yeah, that's for sure, man. Because Mike was pointing it out, and that lets you know that that's what was going on, though. Like it was really a regime rift in the locker room or in the command room. And he also said that calling plays as a coordinator is different than being a head coach who calls plays because you're looking at the whole picture. Whereas Kellen Moore's not. He's looking at whatever he wants to do. Can't believe this actually showed up in my notifications. Hey man, while y'all on here, all 50 of y'all that's on here, make sure y'all hit the notification button. Maybe you have to hit it again on this video because sometimes the algorithm updates and you don't get them. A lot of people have been saying that to me. So if you're not getting them for real, make sure you hit that notification button. All right, make sure you hit that. All right. What's up, big dog? He said, Punchy the King said, "What's up, big dog? What's up with you, man?" Like I said, I'm excited to see what this offense is going to be like moving forward into this next season due to the fact that, as I said, and as we all said, if we could get Dak to play in the same system and scheme that Cooper Rush was playing in that 4 or 5 game stretch, I think Dak will rip that apart because you're simplifying the offense for him. You're not asking him to do everything. You're playing ball control offense, and you're allowing your running game to make your quarterback better. Dak is already good. We don't need him to make the team better. We need to protect him, and we need to take some of the decisions out of his hands at times so that he doesn't have to he's doing pre-snap shit, trying to move guys around. He's doing all kinds of things to try to make sure that the team is in the best position pre-snap. And we see a lot of things happen that are great, in my opinion. I think Dak is one of the best pre-snap quarterbacks in the league. And teams know that. Defenses know that when they play him. which is why they don't even bother trying to disguise things sometimes. They'll just say, we're going to give you too high because we know what Dak and Kellen are going to do when they see too high. They get predictable. So I think you'll get an answer to that with this new offense due to the fact that, they're not going to run for comeback routes and ask Dak to try to figure it out after the fact with this offense. And I'm glad. So we're going to help Dak out. And Dak just needs that push. I think if we built around him as if he was less than what he is. See, people want a quarterback to kind of carry your team. But if we built around Dak as if he was a rookie or as if he was a guy who couldn't handle as much as we watched him handle, then I think we will win more. I think other teams do that. We don't have to. He doesn't have to be Mahomes. I always say that, and I don't think he will be asked to be now. I don't think he will. Mike McCarthy said that, like I said, he's not looking to be the number one offense, so he's not asking Dak to be, a guy that's coming out and balling out of control. If we end up being a number one offense, it'll be because we're playing complementary football and it's just working overall. Sort of like Sean Payton when he was doing it. You know what I mean? He was doing the same. He wasn't ever like that. Him and Drew Brees weren't just coming out and try to light the scoreboard up. They played complimentary football and it worked because it's balanced football. So you pick your poison, but they were scoring however they needed to score. They were doing whatever was best for the situation and whatever was best for the team in any given situation. Whether that's I need to rest my defense, I need to run the clock out, I need, it was situational football at its finest. And I think Kellen Moore plays football or coaches football like he's playing Madden. Really. Anyway, Mike McCarthy wants a more efficient, balanced offense, time of possession, ball control, help a really good defense be even better, team balance. I'm with that. Mark Felix, you exactly right, brother. I appreciate you. He said I would love to see some RPOs. I would love to see some RPOs. Not a lot, but maybe 6 times a game, and you probably will. Puncho, he said, I knew eventually we would get away from the early formula that early formula from Coop. It wasn't eventually. It was as soon as Dak came back, we got away from it. Like it was funny though, because Zeke got hurt right after too. So they had an excuse for getting away from it, because Zeke couldn't run and you only had Tony. You were trying to spare Tony as well. What's good, Alpha Mesa? Waiting on this roof dude to show up. Got me sitting here like an asshole. Well, shit, it's better than sitting there with a hole in the ceiling. You know what I'm saying? So just wait, Rue. If you don't hit the like button, that means you love Kellen Moore and want him back. Yeah, hit that like button, man. Y'all make sure y'all tap that like button. All right, I don't need to put those up there. But yeah, that's how I feel. I mean, that's what shows up as well. Like Mike McCarthy, I like what he did. I like the fact that he ain't have to rub it in, but he did it anyway. So it tells me 2 things. It tells me, 1, he don't like Kellen Moore, and 2, it tells me that he's aggressively taking in the helm and taking control over this team, and he wants to win. One thing I have to say that kind of gets lost in the way the media portrays this team, and sometimes in the way the content creators portrays this team. We were a average team during the COVID debacle in 2020, which was okay with me because it was a weird season for everybody, weird year for everybody. The day the world stood still, sort of shit. So I have a problem with that. But the last 2 seasons, we were a 12-5 team, and last year we were a 12-5 team, and our quarterback didn't play for 5 games. So to be a 12-5 team last year or 2 years in a row, we're trending in a different direction. When we were under JG, it was 1 good year, 1 bad year, 1 good year, 1 bad, and we kept doing that, man. That was just the way we were. We are not the same, and it has to be driven home. I know a lot of you. I don't trust the front office. I don't like what Steven says. We are not the same team. We are not the same. We are trending in the right direction. I don't think, and it reminds me of when Parcells was here, and we went 8-8, and we made the playoffs by, I think, the skin of our teeth. And he was crying. He said, "Well, you can't call them losers anymore." Some shit like that. And I'm like, it was just letting you know that this shit is changing. Although he didn't stay around long enough to fix it, he did give us some staple players in DeMarcus Ware, Tony Romo, Jason Witten, some guys who came in here and we were like, this is Parcells football continued. They kind of continue that in the locker room. I think we have another cultural change now. Like defensively, We haven't been a team. I used to get excited when we had one or two players that can knock your head off on this team. I used to like Kayvon Frazier. I used to like, not that he's a bad player, but he's a guy that probably doesn't start on this team at all. But there were guys that I liked in our defenses prior, like J. Lou. J. Lou was one of my favorites, at one point, and he's still a good player to me. But we got guys that make J. Lou look average. You know what I'm saying? And no, that's no disrespect to J. Lou. That just shows the level of competitiveness that we have on this team. It was a time when D Law was a world beater. We were like, he's the man. Now D Law is still the man. He's still good, but nobody argues that we got other playmakers here and other guys that are vocal leaders or leaders in the locker room. Barry Church, you just brought up Barry Church, JB. You're right, like guys like that. Roy Williams and Darren Woodson, and later in his career, I used to just to watch those guys do what they do. But I like Anthony Henry when he was here because he was a ball hawk. But we got guys everywhere that are exciting on this defense, and then we're about to draft even more. So with this defense looking the way it is, that's already letting you know that there was a regime change and there was a cultural shift in that locker room. The fact that he even understands how important Dan Quinn is and he voices it over and over again lets you know he's not looking for the limelight. Mike McCarthy isn't. So I like what I saw in that press conference. I think that a lot of the fans, a lot of Shannon included, included, a lot of the content creators are losing sight of the fact that you got a guy that's taking us to 12-5 2 years in a row, and we're trending and we're making tough decisions that will lead us in that direction. I think in a winning direction. We've won 2 years in a row, so I can't say that they're the same team and this is the same shit we've always dealt with because it's not. Gotta eat them grapes, man. Well, he said, "Well, I forgot you said hitters. Barry was a ball guy. What'd you say? You said Barry Church was a ball guy? Barry Church was a hitter. You tripping. Barry Church will knock the shit out of you. He might catch the ball, maybe get you some interceptions, but he was a hitter. Barry Church will knock your head off." Sadiqa said, "AKOYE, how are you? I'm giving you donations cuz fee on me. LOL. Have a blessed one. I pray you're feeling better." Yeah, like I told them, I said my neck was stiff last night. It's still stiff now, but it's not as stiff. Like last night, it was super stiff. And I've been in the gym, in the boxing gym, but I ain't get hit or nothing. So I don't know why my neck's stiff. It just was stiff. I'm like, I don't know. It was stiff. I thought I had like meningitis or something. I was like, man, I might be sick. But I'm not. I feel fine otherwise. My neck just rotating it. It's a motherfucker. But I got my joint. Shout out to Joe Rogan. I got my little my iron neck joint. So I gotta start using that strengthen my neck back up because that joint hurt. He said JJ Wilcox was a hitter. Yeah, he was a hitter too. Yeah, he was a hitter too. Yeah. Yeah, he was a hitter for sure. But yeah, we're definitely a different team. We're a different team, man. Culturally, the way we play, everything. Identity wise, I'm excited to see what we do in the draft. We had a lot of standouts yesterday in the combine, so I'm gonna get into that. Something crazy. My guy Nolan Smith ran a 4.3, man, or 4.4, but he could have ran a 4.3. Like Nolan Smith is fast as fuck. I said he was a poor man's Micah Parsons, and it's crazy that he went and lit up the combine like 2 days later. So, I mean, I'm not wrong on that one. But the unfortunate part is, I doubt we even touch him now at 26. I doubt he's even there running those kind of numbers. If you can run because everybody's looking for the next Micah Parsons, and he just showed that you might have found one in that one. If he could stay healthy, that kind of speed is crazy for a guy that's 240. 6'3", 240 runs a 4.3. That's sickening. And we got a lot of other guys that was out there balling and running and killing the combine as well. My man Mozzie Smith is not at the combine. He's probably going to do this pro day at Michigan. But other than that, everybody else is doing excellent. They all playing. Will Anderson, your little cousin, he not performing in the combine. I think he just ran the 40, but he's not doing anything else. So we'll see. But yeah, that's just crazy to me. That's crazy. This defense is gonna get nothing but better, and we got guys who I think were already stout and standout guys. So it's crazy. Mike McCarthy was like, Hey, I've been with Kellen this before. You know what I mean? He said he on the other end. We're on two different ends of the spectrum. He said, I ain't nothing like this young boy. You know what I'm saying? Get him the fuck out of here. That's what he said. Like his press conference had me rolling because I'm like, yo, the whole time he ain't doing nothing but taking shots at this young boy, man. The whole time, but acting like you not. I'm like, that's that corporate shit that just got me out the corporate world because all that I guess corporate lingo or the corporate euphemisms for everything they're really trying to say, that passive aggressive shit. I can't stand it because I'm gonna say something straight to you. I'm good at it though. I got a PhD in passive aggressive corporate jargon if I have to. I know how to say what I need to say without saying it. You guys know that I do that with videos and all kinds of shit. But it just was funny to hear Mike McCarthy doing it with a smile on his face, but all congratulating Cullen at the same time. He's like, he's gonna be great where he at. Get him the fuck out of here. We ain't need him here. You know what I'm saying? But it was good to see, man. It was good to see because to me, that's just like letting you know, like we are aware of what was wrong last season. You very rarely hear anybody or have heard a Cowboy coach or anybody be very boisterous in the public about what was really wrong. Like we used to hear JG. JG used to make a lot of excuses for bullshit. Everything was in house, so you didn't really know what they were thinking, whether or not we were right. We had to guess whether or not we were right about what was really going on, about who didn't like who, and about why this might not work. We have our theories, right? And then Jerry's not going to tell you, Steven's not going to tell you, so we just were like in the dark. We said that Mike McCarthy and Kellen, weren't seeing eye to eye. We thought that anyway. We thought that Kellen, everything that you said negatively about Kellen, Mike McCarthy came out and confirmed that he agrees. He agrees that they had. He said situational football. He was talking about situational football. He said we want to play situational football, meaning Kellen don't know shit about situational football. We all said that anyway, and he confirmed it. He's like, yo, Kellen don't know shit about situational football. He said, we on two different ends of the spectrum. Meaning, I ain't shit like him. Kellen trash. He don't know how to call plays. Yeah, he said, I've been where he at before, man. He a young boy. Like, get him out of here. So he was throwing his experience out there when he did that. When he said, I've been where he is. He ain't been where I'm at. I've been where he is. Basically what he's saying. He's like, I know how to call plays. Like, get out of it. I've been calling plays before he was born. You know what I mean? So everything he said, everything we said about Kellen, he came out and confirmed. And that's like the first time I've seen that in the Cowboys organization since maybe Parcells. Parcells would say things that was like, common sense too. But this just was funny. Like we got another guy who don't mind saying what's what. You know what I mean? So that's good. That's good. I like Mike McCarthy. I liked him before he got here. But once he got here, I felt like we would take this turn. And I still feel like we are right now. I'm not mad about last season. I'm mad about how it ended because I know we were a better team than even I thought we would be after losing Dak Prescott. When we lost Dak Prescott, everybody was fucked up and mad, right? Go back to it. I said we can win football, but we had to play complementary football, have to run the ball and play action and work off of that and play field position, ball control football. And we did that. We did that very well. We won. So for us to still finish 12-5, don't take that away from yourselves because I don't care if it was KC. They won the Super Bowl, right? But Mahomes was running out there with lidocaine in that leg because they know if Mahomes go down, they're not winning no football games. You know what I'm saying? I don't even know who their backup is, but they're not winning no football games without Mahomes. A lot of teams can't come together and play football the way we did. New England used to do it. They had like Matt Castle coming for Tom Brady one time. But a lot of teams can't win with their backups. Not that way. So that shows how good we actually were last season. I'm not here to toot no horns. I'm not here to like hype nobody up, but just give yourself some grace when you come to like when it comes to how pissed off everybody is. I listen to the content creators too. I'm not gonna name no names, because I fuck with a lot of them, most of them. So I'm not saying this to try to like throw shade, but their anger is like, you ever had somebody like a woman who's for the men out here who dated, and the women know too, because y'all like to say the men who act hurt, like who hurt you, right? You ever dated a chick and she like had so many bad ex-boyfriends that anything little you do, she blowing up about it, but it ain't really that major. It's just major because she thinks that it's like a breadcrumb towards something greater. Everything is just, that's the way content creators here talk. We talk like, because we've been scoring so much historically, we can't look at the last 3 years of Mike McCarthy's regime in a vacuum. We got to look at it like everything else counts too, and it doesn't. Even with the front office, I haven't seen a coach have this much say so yet since never since Parcells. But Parcells, it was like a battle between um, Jerry Jones and Parcells because Jerry Jones had been used to losing and running everything through Campo and those guys that he had here. And then he got Parcells, who wasn't going to have that. So it was like the first time Jerry was asked since Jimmy Johnson to kind of let go of the helm. So I think he was a lot more reluctant to do that during Parcells' era. Then he got JG, who was another puppet. You know, he played puppet master for a while. So this is the first time that you have a guy who's able to make decisions. Mike McCarthy's making decisions and has Jerry's blessing to do so at the same time. You haven't had this. So to say that we are still in the same boat, I doubt it because the way Mike McCarthy was talking, and Kellen is Jerry's, young boy. He like him, and he still came out and shat on him. So I think Mike McCarthy is what we need around here, personally speaking. I didn't think that he deserved all of the heat that he got. They were like at the end of the season, a couple months ago, 2 months ago, they were talking about before Sean Payton went to Denver. They were talking about Sean Payton coming and replacing Mike McCarthy on a team that just went 12-5 2 years in a row. That's insane. And a lot of the content creators was talking that shit. That is insane. He said, D Lunatic, I appreciate the $5. He said, I like what Big Mike is saying. Now I need the front office to be active in free agency. Thanks for the top-notch content. Go Cowboys. Right back at you, good brother. I agree with what you said. I think the free agency splash that you're looking for, I think it's going to be Odell Beckham. I really do think that we weren't playing when we took a sniff at him. And I think the reason they hated on Odell a little bit after that was to make sure Odell don't get signed. Jerry not dumb. He came out and said, yeah, Odell not ready to play yet. Odell never came out and said he wasn't ready to play yet. Jerry said he wasn't ready to play yet. So all of the Odell talk that was going on with all the other teams prior to him visiting the Cowboys came to a screeching halt once he visited the Cowboys. Why you think that is? Because Jerry was like, how do we get Odell? If we let somebody else sign him and realize he's not ready to play, he's going to be on that team. And that's it. We can't circle back to him when he's healthy. How do we ensure that we can circle back to him when he's healthy? By sabotaging him right now. And they did that. They came out Micah Parsons tweeted some shit, said he's not ready for 5 games. Jerry said some shit. And it was like, oh, y'all didn't know that he didn't tell nobody that? He never told nobody he wasn't ready for 5 games? So why y'all telling it? You know what I mean? So openly. So I think that was their way of parking Odell so that they could have this opportunity to sign him right now. And I think the splash that everybody's looking for, I don't think he would have been anything near what we wanted in the playoffs, obviously, because he can't run. He would have been another Michael Gallup out there. But a full off season of an Odell who's had his whole year off last year to heal. We don't have to go through the Michael Gallup, I don't want to cut, I'm scared year. Now I don't want to call that Michael Gallup. That's all players that get an ACL tear. They all play a little bit different that first year back. But I don't think we have to go through that with Odell if we were to sign him now because he gets a whole offseason. So yeah. I think they did that to Odell though, man. He said talking out of Odell's pocket. yeah. I think he put Odell on ice though. I do, Will Nico. I think he put him on ice for sure. Due to the fact that they didn't have to leak that he wasn't ready to play. They leaked that on purpose. And I think the big thing that they're talking about them working on, because Jerry likes to make splashes that satisfy you, right? But that doesn't exacerbate his pockets at the same time. And I can't think of a big move that can fit both criteria that he could make. Maybe signing Bobby Wagner, but that's not a big move that you got to have a lot of moving parts for. It's just call a guy up, sign him. That's not a big move. It's Odell would be a big move because of the fact that even though you just call him up and sign him, I think it's a lot more teams interested in Odell than Bobby Wagner at this point. And Odell is still at an age where it would be considered a big move to sign him to a long-term contract. Bobby Wagner, to me, I think he would be great here. I think he does help this run D, but I don't think he's the solution to the run defense. I say it all the time, switching to 3-4 is the solution to fixing this run defense. and also going out and getting us another stout nose tackle to help Hankins and Carlos Watkins and Bohanna. I like the fact that, and that's another thing that shows you we're different. We went from not liking defensive tackles, never going to get a stout defensive tackle, but always getting run through in the middle. And now we got nothing but one techs. We used to think that, and shout out to him, he wasn't bad. We used to think Antoine Woods was a one tech. We'd be like, Antoine Woods. I used to like Antoine Woods. Why? Because that was the closest thing to a one tech that we ever had during that era. Antoine Woods, who would not make this team. He wouldn't make this team. I don't think he would make this team. And I liked him. I don't think he would make this team. For real. So there's a lot going on. D-Hop, I hear you with D-Hop A-Chai or A-Shy. I don't think it's D-Hop. And I don't want D-Hop or Mike Evans because they both slow. I don't want them. West Coast offense, Mike Evans is still a guy that, he's a big guy, possession receiver. We don't need another possession guy. We don't need that. I like Odell. I'll take Odell any day because Odell's a guy that's just off his name and his abilities alone, if he can still play, which I think he definitely can, because Jerry's not going to sign him if he can't. I think he's a guy that could take the attention off of Gallup, get Gallup back to where he needs to be, make CD even better, because CD's not asked to be that guy that's going across the middle, drawing attention. CD is the second man again. And CD moving around with a guy like Odell as a focal point, that makes it very easy. Odell would be the number one wide receiver pick. And he makes it so that Tolbert gets better quickly. You can use guys like Turpin if you want, because you got a guy that can distract the defense. And then the run game even is even better, because if you have a guy that's forcing you be pre-snap to be concerned with where he's lining up, and he also was concerned with how you're leveraging CeeDee Lamb, everybody else gets better, including the run game. So I think that's ideal. He said Antoine Woods hasn't started a game since he left Dallas. I didn't even know Antoine Woods was still in the league. That's how crazy it is. No disrespect to Antoine Woods. I'm just saying that's what we used to think was like something big. But like I said, I think Odell will be the big splash, because that's the one pick that we can go get where you're not worried about offense as much, other than a lineman and a running back. But you can get a running back late, you get a lineman early, and you're still fine in the draft. So Odell would shore up the draft. Defensively, we could always pick the best player available. Doesn't matter what he is. Defensively, I think we have enough spots, check boxes checked, so that we're not worried about what we get defensively in the draft as far as position. We don't need anything. We could use another pass rusher because there's so many of them that's running 4.3s right now. Might as well grab one. Van Ness, man, big white ball running 4.5s. How you running fast as Dez and you 275? That's goddamn it crazy. That is crazy. But Van Ness, that's a guy I like. He's strong as hell. He got a JJ Watt motor, but he big. Well, JJ Watt was big too. He big as fuck, but he fast. He run a 4.5. What? Imagine a JJ Watt that run 4.5. God damn. JJ Watt ran like a 5.2. So I know he probably ran like a 4.7, 4.8. But still, he's a big motherfucker. And this dude can move. And Van Ness didn't start in Iowa because seniors start in Iowa. But so like I said, he got a lot of tread left on his tires too. He wasn't taking a beating. So his stats also, Van Ness's stats that weren't high because he wasn't getting the majority of the snaps. So that's even crazier. Man, that's crazy, man. That's crazy. Let's see what we got going on in here. D Lunatic says, Okoye, Big Mike saying, run the damn ball. Do you think we tagging Pollard and cutting Zeke and drafting a run back early? What we think? I think the draft is going to tell you what's happening to Zeke. I don't think you're going to know what's happening with Zeke and Tony until the draft. I tell you this. If we get a running back that's high on their board that they think can do it all, my personal picks are Kendre Miller. I like Israel Anaconda, the guys y'all told me from Pitt, but I think he's a guy that you still keep Tony or Zeke if you get him. He's a guy that's a member of a three-headed rotation, sort of like Gibbs if you were to get Gibbs. But my personal 2 picks, if you get Bijan Robinson or Kendre Miller, you could go ahead. I don't think you're going to franchise tag Tony. I think Tony gonna have to take a deal, and you might be okay with cutting Zeke at that point. But the draft is going to tell you what they're doing with Zeke and Tony. If we get a guy that can encompass all the things that both those guys do, because Bijan Robinson can do both. He can catch just as good as Tony, and he's good in the open space just like Tony. He has the size of a Zeke. He's like 220 already coming in. That's bigger than Zeke was when he came in. Zeke was 215 when he came in. So he has the size and he has the speed and the ball skills where you only need just Bijan and some helpmates. Whereas if you go get a guy like Corum, who's a little bit different from both our running backs, I think you are more suited to keep Zeke and Tony. If you go get a guy like Gibbs, even, then you probably don't want to keep Tony because Gibbs is Tony. They're the same guy. See what I'm saying? So it depends on what running back they have high on their board. That's going to tell you everything you need to know about what they're thinking. Because if they go get a Tony clone in Gibbs or a Tony clone in Anaconda, that lets you know they don't think Tony's going to be healthy, and they're trying to leverage that negotiation where they're saying, like, listen, we can either pay you this or we can go with this guy right here. You can go see what you could do in the open market on a broken leg. They got all the leverage they need. So Tony's going to take a team-friendly deal or he's getting the fuck out of here. Because I say this only because from Tony's perspective, what you don't want to be right now, coming off of a broken leg, is on a franchise tag trying to prove it. Because you're coming off a broken leg. You don't want to have to press the envelope. You just had surgery. You don't want to have to push the envelope and have that pressure applied to you going into a season where you're on a 1-year deal. No matter how much they're giving you for that 1 year, you're not gonna. It's not the best scenario for Tony Pollard to have to prove it coming off of that type of injury. That would be like if they put Gallup on a prove it deal this year and they franchise Gallup after his injury. It's like you don't expect Tony to come out and be confident day one, do you? I don't. And I don't even care if he's not. I know what we got. Even if they park Tony for half a season, I know what we got. So, but they're not gonna park him for half a season if he's franchised. So if Tony doesn't take a deal, they have all the leverage. If he doesn't take a long-term deal that's team friendly, Tony will not be getting franchise tag because I don't see why they would do it. It doesn't mean, and if they did do it, it would be doing it like it's kind of a knock on him if they did it. They're shading him if they do it. If you say, Tony, we're gonna give you 10 mil, but prove it to us that you want a long-term contract this season, coming off of the injury he's on. That's a bad look because he can get hurt again, and then what he's gonna get? Nothing. He ain't even gonna get the deal that they was offering him this year, next year, if he's not ready next year. So I think it behooves Tony and his team, and they're just gonna use the draft to leverage that, but it behooves him to take a long-term deal, 3-year deal, maybe not as long or as high as he wanted it to be, but it behooves him to pull a Michael Gallup and take a deal that's team friendly and live to fight a couple more years and try to get a second contract later or something. But or try to put enough on wax over 2 years or 3 years, put a body to work of work together. So when you hit the free agency market, hopefully healthy next time, you can get more money, like C-Mac, something like that. But this ain't the year, Tony, franchise tag. I don't think he wants that franchise tag. So that's Tony. As far as Zeke goes, if you find another bruiser, like a Charbonnet or somebody like that, or a Kendre Miller or Bijan's not a bruiser, but he's a big guy. But if you get another back that you think can handle the every down back bell cow type of role, then that hurts Zeke. And Zeke's obviously going to take less money anyway to stay here. But it's like, okay, if you get a guy like those guys, do you even keep Zeke? I don't know. They might. They might. I want to keep Zeke because of who Zeke is. And I think that the Cowboys feel the same. I haven't heard the thing, and this is like, I don't argue just from what I feel. I think people get that mistaken. Here's the thing. If for those who are so jaded by, like I said earlier, jaded by what this front office has done so many years in a row, you can't just forget that when it comes to how they deal with players that they want to get rid of. To a man, everybody that they've wanted to get rid of, they come out and they figure out a way in the media to spin it so that we're ready to get rid of them. They've done that with everybody they wanted to get rid of except for one man. 2, Tyron and Zeke. They haven't said much about not wanting them here. They want them here, and they say they want them here. So they're extending the olive branch to Tyron and Zeke and saying, "Hey, help me, help you." That's what they're saying. Because if they weren't saying that, trust me, they would have said something that stirs the waters already. They said that with Dez, you gotta catch the ball. They said so much shit. They said Dak likes when you run routes exact. He's a guy that likes exact route running. He needs to know where you're gonna be. Basically saying Dez, stop all that improvising shit. So they were coming out in the media, Stephen Jones included, and saying shit that stirred the pot when they were trying to get rid of Dez or when they were trying to get rid of people, right? Cooper, they just he ain't take that shot. And he took some shots at Dak. They got rid of Cooper ass, and they justified it with bullshit. So that if they were really trying to get rid of Zeke, we would be the first to know. They would have said something that because the fans are already for it. A lot of you are, or have been for getting rid of Zeke. So if they were for, they don't have to push the fans, but so much to get them to make that happen. The media's already saying it. It's the first time I've seen people outside the organization saying shit that the organization really ain't standing on. They like Jerry really saying that he wants Zeke here. So if that's the case, Zeke will likely be here, but it's going to be on much less. They might give him a signing bonus, restructure him so that he can get most of his money that he was supposed to get this season without hurting the cap. And then the seasons following is going to be incentive laden or just regular veteran type shit, 2-3 mil a year. And be happy that you still get it because you're not going to get that nowhere else type shit. So that's what I think we're going to get out of a Zeke. If anything, if they cut Zeke, I think that's the last of Zeke because I don't think there's anybody in the market with all the running backs that are coming out that's going to take Zeke serious and give him real money other than the veteran minimum. I think it's best, again, just like I just said with Tony, they're leveraging Tony. As far as leverage goes, Dallas has the leverage when it comes to the running back room due to the running back market, historically speaking, and due to the fact that both the running backs are in weird injury situations where Zeke's coming off the year he came off of, and it's best for him as far as the market goes for him to stay here. He's going to get the most money no matter what they restructure him to. I don't care if it's $3 million a year, $5 million a year, $3 million a year. I think it's going to be somewhere in there. But even if they pushed him to that level of income, he's not even going to get that anywhere else. So it behooves him to stay here too. It behooves. Who was that? It was somebody just sent me a super chat, not a super chat, a cash app. Who was it? I think it was Tweety89. Hold on, let me see. I want to give you your love. That's why because you did it. Yeah, Tweezy89. He said, for you from your little bro. That's Megatwine. Appreciate you, Twine. Appreciate you always, man. Thank you. And guys, remember that, like I said, we grow on this channel, we moving it forward, but it's definitely going to come from y'all support. I appreciate all the support that I've gotten from you guys. Like a lot of the shit that you see in the background, y'all guys are doing that, man. So thank you. Thank y'all that definitely remember that. We don't work for free, even though we do. You know what I'm saying? I do this for the love, but I like the fact that y'all definitely show love. Sadiqa, especially, you always showing me love. So thank you. And Megatron too. He said, I hate to be the nerd, but the NFL stats rely too much on averages. Kellen Moore inflated the team's points per game, but there's a ton of variance. For every 54-point blowout, there's a 6-point stinker. Not for every, but I get your point. And I do agree that there are teams that look a lot more impressive, like that Mike Martz type of look. They look way more impressive than they actually are. And I think we were one of those teams. And it wasn't because we weren't good. I think less was more, no pun intended, but less was more during Moore's regime. If he was just a chill guy, a lot of the interceptions last year that we were pissed up at Dak about came in the second quarter, trying to push the envelope, in most cases where we had momentum. Whereas if we'd have just played ball control, force teams, if you got a defense the way we got a defense, you force teams to prove that they can really beat you honestly, not by giving them short fields, not by giving them momentum like we did in Green Bay. We had two interceptions in Green Bay. We had 2 interceptions, I think, in San Fran. So on, like when you're pushing the envelope, you don't push the envelope against teams that are having trouble getting upfield anyway. San Fran only scored 19 points with 2 turnovers. They almost got 3. They almost had a pick 6. But that's a team where you say you got a young quarterback. Do what the Eagles did to him. We're going to beat him up and see if he can beat us. We're not going to give him shit. I don't care if it's 6-0 at the end of the game. You got to beat me. You know what I'm saying? That's like walking into a boxing match with your hands down, saying you get the first punch, you get a freebie, and you might just happen to be fighting a puncher. You know what I mean? You might get cut, you might get hit, you might get tooth knocked out. You know what I'm saying? Might get stunned, and now you gave that person momentum where they didn't have any. So don't give life to teams that can't fuck with you anyway. And that's what Kellen Moore's offense was doing. He was giving life to teams that couldn't beat us anyway. They couldn't beat us anyway. You know what I'm saying? So, like, we ended a lot of games that way because even when we were running the ball, it's like puff of smoke type runs. Or I remember Frederick's last year. I think it was 2020, maybe 2019. 2020 or 2019. I remember I did a whole series of watching how Fredericks in the rest of the line, although they were healthy, how they were blocking. They were run blocking. They were they were pass blocking on running plays. I'm like, why are you waiting for the defense to hit you if you're running the ball? And then when you just flip it and watch what they were doing to Jalen Smith and LVE, they were firing off the ball, making sure they get to the space and cut them off, reach blocking, trap blocking, combo blocking. I'm like, damn, that's what teams were doing to us. Why ain't we doing none of this shit? When you watch Washington run with whatever his name, Gibson, it's like, what the? Washington's run scheme is like crazy. Like, they play so many games with you. You don't know what you're running into as a defensive end or as a safety. You don't know when it's coming or where they're going. It's like, that's how you run the ball. Kellen did that very sparingly, man. It was mostly, and then even when he did it well this year, it was power ball. Like, we just going to bowl forward, zone blocking, and try to knock people off the ball. But it wasn't enough. Like, we saw one game where they put Tyler Smith out in space, and that was the Giants game where he was just knocking shit out. And I'm like, why you don't do that a lot? Why you do that every once in the blue? You pull the guy, you pull your killers every once in a while. Like, you should pull Steele and Tyler Smith as much as you can. Zach Martin is not so much good in space anymore as he was, but you pull those guys, you get those guys out in space on the small guys as much as you can, even when you didn't get no yards from it. So what? Get them out in space so they can hit those safeties and hit those corners and hurt them. That's what you do. And that's what they were doing when we ran against the division. But then we'll do that one game. And this is why he said situationally Kellen didn't have it. This is why Mike McCarthy said that. But we'll do that one game, and then the next game, it's like we forgot. To a point where last year, remember last season, we were saying, why did Kellen stop doing this, that, and the third? Why is it so vanilla? We tried to say at the end of this season. Or we were saying, oh, because he's saving it for the playoffs. He's saving it for no, the fuck he ain't. He just don't know what he's doing. He ain't saving it for nothing. He doesn't know what he's doing out there. Juan Jose de Luna Sr., let me see what he says. He said Hankins or free agent DT like Tomlinson. Appreciate the cash app too. I think I want to keep Hankins for sure. You re-sign Hankins because of what he did. Not for major money, but you re-sign him. And you go get him somebody like a Mozzie Smith. You go get him somebody else that can rotate in with him. Just one more bona fide nose tackle. If y'all want to go get Ika and he's playing with Hankins, and that's our base, is like Hankins and Ika starting, and then you got D-Law and whoever outside of them, whatever rotation you went outside of that, I'm not going to snap at that. I don't like Ika. I think Mozzie Smith is better. I think there's other guys that can play nose in the draft right now that are better, that move better than Ika. There's none that are better at being a wall than Ika is. So if you want to just stop guys from running up the middle and you want to leave Micah Parsons outside, and you don't want him a middle linebacker, although I think if you go get a guy like Ika and you put Micah Parsons back at the middle linebacker with him and Hankins in front of him, it's like unnecessary roughness. They won't lay a hand on Micah. And Micah being able to roam free and do what he wants, like, I say it's time to cut him loose. But Micah being able to roam free and do what he wants, I love that. So appreciate the cash app. And I think you make sense when you say go after a defensive tackle. No matter who we go get. I don't care if you go get an Ndamukong Suh for a 1-year deal and then bring in a draft pick. I don't care if you go get a Joseph or Tomlinson, any of those guys, as long as it's a big guy that can rotate with Bo Watkins and Bohanna Watkins and Hankins. But if you're asking, should we keep Hankins? I say yes. I like what I saw out of Hankins. I like how he played. I look for big guys that not only clog up holes, because if you're looking for a guy like Ika, the reason I don't like Ika from Baylor is because I'm watching this film and he's a guy that is stout, right? Doesn't take a lot of snaps because he doesn't have that motor. So he gets tired easy. He doesn't move in space at all. So, but you can't block him. He's big, but he doesn't move. He's not like a Jordan Davis either. He just doesn't move. He's just going to block that hole up. We had that already. We ain't like it. That's what Dontari Poe big ass was when he was here. We ain't have the young Dontari Poe. We had a Dontari Poe that says, you ain't running through the A gap. Now you can go over here, over there, wherever you want. I'm not coming to get you. But you ain't running through here. And that's what Ika is. So for everybody who like Ika, why you hate Dontari Poe then? Because he was the same shit. You know what I'm saying? He just was in a different scheme. But he was the same shit. They tried to have him upfield. He wasn't an upfield guy. He was a guy that just, I'm going to clog this hole. And y'all going to have to realize that they cutting off me every time. So if I go to the right, you should be looking for the running back to my left because he ain't coming my way. And that was every time. You know what I'm saying? That was every time. Tweezy, he said, Kajay Casey from that DT is relentless. From Pitt, yes. And he ran a 4.6. That motherfucker. Shout out, rest in peace to DJ, man. My brother was one of the fastest little bowling ball defensive tackles I've ever seen. Dennis Coit, man. But he was the same size as Kaji, like 6'1", 6'2", somewhere in there, 320, but can move like a running back. Because he always wanted to play running back. He thought he was Jerome Bettis growing up. He could. But he can move because of that. But he was very strong too. And Kaji is the same type of guy. He's a guy, Kaji Kansi. He's a guy that just watching the combine, he's flying around. So having a guy like that next to a Hankins, I like that. I like that kind of math. Yeah, I like that. He said, man, I wish for Cole Beasley to come back. I want the AKOYE back. Yeah, what's up, man? Yeah, I feel you. He said, if we draft Bijan Robinson or Gibbs, cry. I'm gonna cry too. Means Zeke gone RTP too. Yeah, I think that you guys are right with that assessment. Because if you get a guy that's a world beater that can do everything by himself, there's no leverage in Zeke. Or I think you probably, if you did get a guy like that, you're probably more likely to keep Zeke than Tony, to be honest, because Zeke is going to be cheaper than Tony at this point. If you get a guy that can do what Tony can do and that can do what Zeke can do, you probably wind up keeping Zeke and that guy to try to spare that guy. Or you just keep neither one. So Gibbs, everybody who's screaming for Gibbs or Israel, if you like Tony, you should stop screaming for Gibbs and Israel. Because if you get Gibbs or Israel on this team, where's there room for Tony? Because every play that you would call for a unhealthy Tony, you might as well call for a healthy Gibbs. See what I'm saying? Because they do the same thing. They're same size. Well, not now. Gibbs is actually 200 pounds, but he will be probably like 205 to 210 this season, and probably around Tony next season, 215, something like that. Tony was 208 when he got drafted. He slowly grew up to where he is now. He's like 217, 220, somewhere in there. So Gibbs is the same guy. Same guy on film. They don't do anything different. Okay. He said, I don't think they would reduce him to the vet minimum. Oh, Zeke? I'm talking about outside of the Cowboys. The Cowboys won't. They're going to give him something respectable here. But he leave here, he going to get the veteran minimum. That's for real. You know, and it's not because that's what I want for him. I think Zeke has still got 3 good years left or more. Not great, but good. You know, I think Zeke can still get you 1,000 yards, 250 carries, 1,000-yard guy. Still can get you double-digit touchdowns every season. To me, I don't know what Twilight Zone we living in where that's no longer good. But they say it's not good. You know what I mean? Tweezy gave me another cash app. He said, what would you do the first 2 rounds? What would I do the first 2 rounds? Appreciate the cash app too. What would I do the first 2 rounds? It depends on what we do with free agency. I don't think we're going to do anything free agency. So as it stands today, I think you got to address running back in the first 2 rounds, not because it's the biggest need. I don't think it's the biggest need. I think it's the biggest question mark because of the money that you're spending in that room and the money that they're asking you to spend. I think the Cowboys have leverage due to the injuries that Zeke and Tony have, but they want more leverage. So if I was a GM and I want all the leverage in the world, I'm gonna go give me a good running back in the first 2 rounds. And then I'm gonna say, now talk to me, Zeke. Now talk to me, Tony. We can be a 3-headed thing, or y'all both can get the fuck out of here. That's what I would do for money. If it's about money, that's what I would do. The first 2 rounds, I'm getting a running back. And I'm also going after a lineman because I don't know what we're doing with Connor McGovern. If we re-sign Connor McGovern, it's just letting me know that they don't want to go into the draft hungry. They don't want to go grocery shopping with an empty stomach, so to speak, because you do crazy things when you do that. So if we re-sign Connor McGovern, I think the only reason we would do that is because we're drafting a lineman. Because we don't want to have to draft a lineman, But if we want to draft a lineman, or we just want to see how it goes, they may wait to re-sign Connor McGovern because the market isn't like jumping all over him anyway. So they may wait to re-sign Connor McGovern and see what they like in the draft. So what I would do the first 2 rounds, I would address running back and offensive line, unless there's a guy that is so good at a skill position that I got to take him because he slid. Joey Porter there, take him. Zay Flowers there, take him. Devin Weatherspoon there, take him. Bijan Robinson there, take him. He's a running back though. But yeah, any of those fall to your spot at 26, you got to take that. If Nolan Smith is there, take him. Any of those top flight defensive ends that running 4.3s right now in the combine, killing it, if they're there, you take them. Which I think some of them will be there. So first round, we may be all surprised. I don't think they're going to jump out and go after a wide receiver in the first round, though. I don't even think they dislike Jalen Tolbert as much as everybody thinks. I said in the last live, and I'll say it again, the reason that Jalen Tolbert isn't looked at as a pariah, the reason they didn't look at him as a worthless player is because, one, he came from a small school, didn't understand the NFL game anyway, and two, he was playing in a complex, option-laden offense, and Mike McCarthy came out and spoke on that already out loud in public early in the season. I never saw so many option routes. Why? Because how can a young guy, Mike McCarthy develops receivers. I already said this before. Jordy Nelson, he was a nobody. Jordy Nelson, Donald Driver, Freeman, who else? Jennings, who else? Devontae Adams, who else? Who else? James Jones, who else? There's more. Cobbs, who else? It's more. I'm pretty sure it's more. But he develops the shit out of wide receivers. How is it that no wide receivers are developing here? Nobody got better because he's here. I think CD's even if it's as good as he should be. So no one's getting it. Like, Kellen wasn't making guys better because it's a bunch of, that's sandlot football. It's like, run out. If you don't like what you see, or if you see this leverage, everybody do what the fuck they want to do. And Dak got to sit back and wait. That's why the things we were saying about Dak may not only be Dak's fault. When I was saying that Dak is a see it, throw it quarterback, he was at times throughout the last 3 seasons. He was getting better at throwing anticipatory throws, but I think it was because we did less option routes. If I don't know exactly what this guy over here is doing when my first read is to the left, I got to look over there first to make sure he understood the assignment or he understood the option. And then I throw it. Oh, he's doing this. But I should automatically know it's a drag route coming here. I'm going to look here. If that ain't there, I'm going to look for the drag. If that ain't there, it's check down here or it's check down there. It's whatever. You know what I mean? We weren't doing shit like that. It was how you running options on 2 sides of the field. If I'm reading this side and it's an option, a hot option going on that side, and that wide receiver's reading hot because it's a safety or a corner blitzing in that gap, I got to get back over here, see the blitz, and see that he read it hot and did the right thing. That's a lot of shit to assess like that. And that is, I think, why a guy like Tolbert was looked at as a bust, when really he's not. I think Tolbert in a West Coast offense is going to be fine. He is a route running savant. Do not forget it. He just needed a year. And I think it was embarrassing enough that if he is what we thought he was, it was embarrassing enough last season. He put enough embarrassing shit on the wax that lining up off sides and not really getting an opportunity after that. That's embarrassing enough to make you work very hard in the offseason. And if he's doing that, he got no choice but to be better this season. So if you get a better Tolbert, you get Gallup back healthy, and you got CeeDee Lamb, we have an okay wide receiver room. So I don't think they're looking for a receiver as hard as everybody else does, especially if they go after Odell Beckham. I don't think they're looking at receiver in the draft as aggressively as all of us are. And I don't think they're looking at the receiver room as weak as we think it is, because it's not in a different scheme. And I think Mike McCarthy would be the first to tell you that. I think he'd be the first to tell you that. What else we got going on here? Shy said, I think Kellen calling plays most of the game, and the calling like 7 run plays may have been a fuck you to Mike McCarthy. I think Kellen was doing a lot of that fuck you shit to Mike McCarthy. To be honest with you, it's like um, when you saw the end of the season, I think Kellen got excited after the Tom Brady game when we retired Brady in Tampa Bay, and he just came out with a weird ass game plan in the 49ers game. And that was a very bad game plan. Everybody was like, what did Zeke do in that game? I think he had 15 carries for 55 yards. It's like, okay, you do realize that's like 3.4 yards a carry. If you get 20 carries or 30 carries, you still get 100 yards. That's like how you play that type of game, though. What did the Eagles do? They had a collective run game. They didn't blow anybody away with their run stats. It's just that they just didn't stop running when they played San Fran. We could have played them exactly the same and forced their offense to beat us. And Purdy wouldn't have beat a Micah Parsons barreling down on them every play. They beat us because we gave them short fields. They beat us only because of that. We turned the ball over when we were supposed to have them turning the ball over, giving us short fields. We played like the rookies that were desperate, and that's because Kellen was coaching like one. So good point, A-Shy. Very good point, brother. Let's see what we got. Iceberg Q. I always like Iceberg Q name. You sound like a pimp, man. You probably a pimp back where you from, or you want to be, or your daddy's dad. You might have the grandfather clause as pimp juice. That name, man, Iceberg Q. I mean, don't he sound like he sell drugs or something? Or he a pimp? Don't he? I mean, he Andrew Tate it. Rue Glock. Thanks for throwing that cash up out there, Rue Glizzy. JP, what's up, brother? You gone live mad often now, eh? Hey, he Canadian. Going live often now because one, I got to be more consistent this year. It's like I'm just being honest with y'all, and I'm for real. I'm very for real. I got other shit that I'm doing. I'm waiting right now for a license for the home healthcare agency, and that's gonna make me pretty good money. But if I'm not consistent this year, like if this doesn't grow to where I need it to be, it's like either do it, and this is how I tell my sons. This is how I am with anything. AKOYE takes up a lot of bandwidth in my mind, my heart, my space, but it's not something. It's a hobby right now. It's not something that I'm doing full time, like Vacha or Law or those guys. They can do this full time, or Sky. They can do it full time because of the way they do it full time, so it giving them full time results. I'm not. I'm doing it as a hobby, but I'm giving it full time attention. So that's a lose situation. You don't do that, And I got a whole family. I got people that look at me like, "Dad, you crazy? We got shit to do. Like, are you shitting or getting off the pot?" My whole family been watching me do this for 6 years. So it's like, take it serious or call it a hobby and do it, sparingly and get the fuck out of here. That, I mean, this is real talk I have with my son. So, he's getting into Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. I'm a boxing coach. I got fighters that I don't even get in the gym with sometimes because I'm doing this. And I got my son now who's doing MMA, and he wants me to teach him how to box. And it's like, okay, I'm going to take this serious, for one. And two, I'm building a gym now. I'll give you guys a little tour. But I'm building a little gym space now underneath our wellness center. And I'm going to start shooting content from there soon. But the reason I brought that up, let me see. I don't know if I want to find this shit. There's a lot to dig through. Let's see. The reason I want to, take it serious now, the reason you see me more often now is because of that. It's like, it's time to get serious, bro. Because I'm wasting time if I'm not. So I'm going to be live a lot more. I always could get live. Here it goes. I don't know if you guys can see. It's just an empty space right now, right? So getting the floor epoxy, getting stuff done. I'm going to do it in some Dallas Cowboy type of color scheme so that I can still shoot my content from there and train my son and get back to training my fighters because I got fighters that are just sitting there undefeated too. Shout out to Anas Masoudi, he's undefeated. His brother Nabil Masoudi, undefeated, 9-0 out of Morocco. Anas Masoudi, 14-0, ranked 42 in the world out of Morocco. And most of y'all don't even know I'm a boxing trainer at all, which is crazy. So it's a lot of things that I'm not really focusing fully on that I should be, that I need to incorporate all this into whatever the AKOYE brand is going to be in order to keep it going. So that's why you see me a lot more because I got to be serious now. It's like I'm not playing. I'm not playing. I can't play around no more, man. Or I'm just gonna quit. To be honest with you, because I got other shit I really do have to do, and it just don't make sense for me to do that. No matter how much I love this, it's crazy to like spend more time on your hobby than you do at the shit that actually you really do. You know what I mean? All right. I already told y'all how I felt about Ika. He's a wall, but he don't move, man. Who New York media before 2022 season, NY media was saying they prefer Zeke over Saquon. Funny how shit works. Saquon is injured all the time. Don't nobody even talk about that. I know what you're saying though. You argue with somebody about that. What up, West Coast? He said, I'm live doing a show while watching yours. I do that shit all the time, man. What's up with you? West Coast, that guy, man. That's my guy. How you doing, man? West Coast, my guy. That boy crazy though. West Coast crazy. I remember I called Star, what's his name? Soul Star. I called him crazy one time. He called me like he's ready to have a fucking a duel in the middle of the street at noon and shit. Like, damn, you want to shoot it out, bro? Over. I called you crazy because you is crazy. And you calling me saying this shit is why I called you crazy. Because you fucking crazy, bro. Now I love you. You know, you my man. I ain't mean no disrespect, but you are crazy. You know what I mean? It is what it is. But yeah, we sorted that out. You know what I mean? I talk my shit. People know how I talk shit. I'm not gonna stop talking shit. That's just how I can't not be me and do this. I'm gonna be honest. You know what I mean? You know I'm gonna be honest if I'm not gonna do nothing else. He said, Gym fun, go get it. You already know I'm gonna go get it, bro. I'm gonna go get it. Iceberg said, appreciate you, King. I appreciate you, man. You know, so we gotta keep our professions alive, man. Boxing coaches and man, we a dying breed, and so are pimps, man. So we gotta keep our professions alive, man. Do what you gotta do, man. I ain't hating on you. Keep your walk going. Stay ice cold. He said you would love some boxing content. Um, Go to YSM Sports and type in YSM. Somebody type this in YSM Sports Media. And you can put AKOYE behind it. I have a lot of boxing content there because that's a boxing channel, and for some reason they don't bother them when I put boxing shit on their channel. But when I put it on my channel, they flag me almost every time, man. So I stopped doing it. Um, I went viral on this channel with boxing a couple years ago with the glove gate with Tyson Fury. I think Fury's team must have said something, but ever since then they be on my ass when it comes to some boxing. So I don't do it as often on my channel because I just want to keep my channel. I don't. That's the point. You know what I mean? Oh, I know that AKOYE is one smart dude. If you have a conversation with him, dog got game. Yeah, yeah. Ed, no, he called me all the time, man. When he hit me up, we talk some shit. You know what I mean? We talk some shit. Where we at? Rue Glock, damn, you keep her busy as hell, my boy. You know me, I stay cool, money out here. I think he talking to somebody else, but oh, Rue Glock and Ready Red talking. I got you, got you, got you, got you. All right. What we doing? Yep, YSM Sports. Type in YSM Sports in AKOYE, you'll find me over there. And I'm gonna start doing boxing content here too, but I'm gonna do it like more instructional shit. So if I was in my gym right now, I would just do some instructional shit here on a live, and people can watch that or they cannot. But it'd make it so that I could do everything I'm doing. Like right now, I need to get out of here, get to the gym, then get busy. But yeah, my son is actually taking it serious. Like his jujitsu game. I whoop his ass. Like I used to let them when I'm raising them, just to give you some background. I used to let them punch me if they wanted to. Like if you could. They got in trouble. I took their phone. I'm like, you want your phone back? If you can land a punch, you can get your phone. So I would make them spar me to get their phone back. They can't fuck me with the hands. But I still was a little cocky, thinking like, cause I mean I know how to wrestle a little bit. You ain't just. I did some jujitsu before. I did a keto and all that shit when I was young. So you ain't gonna just throw me around. man, judo, shit like that. Man, my son armbarred me last week, man. And I was like, yo, if you could get me in an armbar without me laying the fuck down and let you get me in an armbar, you got it. And we standing up, and he got me to the ground and armbar me. And I said, it made me tap. And I said, oh, goddamn, y'all got to take you serious then. But yeah, just giving you that, man. But anyway, back to football, man. Like I said, in the draft, any more questions y'all got for the draft, let me know via Super Chats, Cash App, or just at me in the chat and let me know. And I'll answer those questions before I jump off. I already answered the last one. That was Twine saying, what would I do? And boom. Okay, that's it. So let me know, what questions y'all got for the draft right now. Let's draft the linebacker. Yeah, Andrew, what's his name? Sanders, Drew Sanders, or whatever his name is. I would draft him in a heartbeat. That boy's sickening. Um, he said Spence, $5 for Spence all day. The king of boxing all day. No, Spence will get beat the fuck up by my young boy, man. I think Boots would beat the shit out of Spence. I like Spence though, but Boots would beat the shit out of Spence. I think Spence and Crawford both share the top of the game. Yeah. He said Spence talk about moving up in weight now. He tired of waiting for Bud. Yeah, because cutting your weight, that's what Bud doing. He trying to cut him down. Cutting your weight to try to wait for a guy when you that big anyway is hard to do. Bud, though, could come up if he wanted to. Bud's strong as shit. That dude squat like 500 pounds or whatever. He a little dude doing that. Bud's strong. Already read doing 15 years, so it's good for her, especially jujitsu. Oh, you got your daughter doing jujitsu, man? That's crazy. That's dope. Already read. That's dope. Send me some footage and shit in my DMs. You already hit me on there. Yep. Send me some in my DMs. I got you. He said Boots gonna get that work. Not at all, man. He said best player available or O line, linebacker, CB, and DN. Yeah, those are the best players available at those positions. I would agree. I would agree with you, Cashmere 44. Edwin Lane, I will check it, brother. Yeah. Let's see what we got. He said, you're the real deal. I'm all right, man. Yeah, I'll go viral over there too. Like when it comes to boxing, people know that I grew up boxing. I didn't grow up. I grew up playing football, but football wasn't my love. It was like I liked football. I love boxing. Like I love it. You know what I mean? So I know more about boxing than I know about anything else in this world. I think probably history wise. Football, I get it. I understand it because my brothers they all play football. When I say my brothers, I was I was raised with all my cousins as brothers. I was raised with them. So my brothers are my cousin Will and DJ who died. But they both were like the football family aces. You know what I mean? I was good, but they were better. And as far as fighting, I'm the guy. Like I'm the one that they go get or they used to go get when we was young, man. I could fight. So can Willie though. Willie is like, very athletic. You know what I mean? Very athletic. I'm a thinker. Spence, he said Spence too solid to get knocked out. You are crazy, bro. Spence ain't got no wiggle. They just good at picking guys. Your thoughts on Patrick Peterson as a veteran ad? I don't hate it. I don't love it either. I look at Patrick Peterson the same way I looked at Xavier Rhodes. They're guys that can come in here, give you great snaps, but I think they're log jams in development. I would rather develop a guy like a Bland and see Bland do what he's doing than see Patrick Peterson do that. They're not guys that I think are guys that'll take us over the top. So if you go get a Xavier Rhodes or Patrick Peterson, they're more of a band-aid than they are a difference maker. They're not going to take you over the top. If you go get Jalen Ramsey, he's going to take you over the top. If you go develop one of these young guys like Izzy, the way Izzy Mukamu's developing, he could take you over the top if he could develop his play and give you good play where you don't want to throw the ball at him. Those guys are just guys that okay, you know what Patrick Pete going to give you, and you can do some things with your defense. If you're trying to win this year, they're not going to hurt the team. You know what I mean? So I don't hate those picks. You can go get them. I would. Same here. Football, team sport, boxing, and competitive fighting is all on you. 100%. Boxing, gotta love it. The days are far behind me now. This oxygen tank low. That's on you, man. You probably younger than me, so it can't be that low. I can still go, so I know you can. Ruglock, you on it, brother? Keep it going. Definitely, definitely. There's a lot of y'all. Garza, he hit me up all the time about his son Jay Garza. His son is a boxer out of Texas. He gonna be good. I got his son's film. I'll be telling him what to do with his youngin. But it's a lot, man. Like last thing I'm gonna say about boxing, and then I get it going. But there's a reason I still love it. Um, yeah, don't estimate a Dallas kid. Facts. The reason I still love it is because you got coaches in football, you still got coaches everywhere. You still got good knowledge. Boxing is dying. Shoe shiners, you got a shoe shiner, you got a shoemaker. A shoemaker is a coach that can take anybody. I could take your wife and teach her how to box, and she could be okay against another woman, maybe something like that. You know what I mean? I wouldn't say it's self defense like against a grown ass grizzly, but you know what I mean. Um, but then you got guys that could just get people in shape. And you see a lot more of the latter. You see a lot more people that just can get a boxer in shape, but don't know shit about what to tell them situationally. And that's getting guys fucked up now, man. So yeah, boxing is not it. He said, no, Koya, I gotta take him out quick. Weightlifting, love it. Cardio, hate it. Yeah, you gotta take him out in the first 30 seconds then, or it's your ass, Mr. Postman. I like seeing dudes that's big and super muscular, but can't really move around real well. As long as they ain't wrestling with you, you got them. Dudes coming to the gym all the time. It was like a dude from the Marines came in. He actually pissed me off though, because I put him in against one of my guys, Eddie Change, and Eddie had twisted his ankle, so he couldn't really move. And I'm like, yo, you gave this guy life, man, making him think he can actually fight and shit, man. He can't fight, but they come in there challenge you guys or shit like that, man. It's crazy. But listen, y'all got he said Malik Scott is one of those guys. Had no idea. He bulked up Wilder. Yeah. Malik Scott from Philly too. Philly boxing is on the rise. Shout out to my man Breadman Steve Edwards, who's training Caleb Plant March 25th. They gonna kill it. Breadman, my guy. Same thing. Shout out to Mr. Bozy training Boots. Shout out to Malik Scott. Philly trainers. It's a lot of knowledge in Philly, a lot of knowledge in Philly that just goes unnoticed. And that's because Philly, as far as boxing, is a boxing hub. There is no one place in the world that you can go to, no one city that has a higher concentration of top boxers than Philadelphia. Period. There is guys here that could get off of a postal truck and beat your ass and beat guys that are like supposedly good. They bring guys here that are supposed to be good to see how good they are, and they don't. A lot of them don't last. But the problem is that they all know that Philly is full of top talent, but they're not full of good business. So there's no money behind that talent. They're not guys that guys are paying for, right? Because there's so many of them here. It's like running backs. Why would you pay a lot of money to move a Philly boxer unless it's your son or something? Why would you pay a lot of money? It's so many. So if you're dealing with a guy that's in the streets, you got this other guy. I'm just gonna go deal with this guy here and I'm gonna move him. But the other thing is also true. Why would you bring your fighter that you're moving and you're moving up and you're trying to get good wins and good quality fights? Why would you bring a Philly opponent to fight your guy as a manager? You wouldn't do that. So a lot of these guys are here, live and die here. They never get a chance to really get out of Philly and show their name unless they leave and go to Vegas or somewhere else where their name from Philly is good and the competition is less and they could do their thing. But getting discovered in Philly as a Philly fighter, I got a guy right now who's 1-0, Hakeem Harmon. If you watch his fight, like he knocked the dude out in like 30 seconds his first fight. But if you watch him spar, you look at him, he's big as shit. Like he's like he looked like he 160, but he only 140, 145. He a welterweight. But if I shrunk him down to 140, there's nobody at 140 that can fuck with him. Like he is a tank. But you also need a hell of a lot of money to move him because ain't nobody coming to get him. Every time somebody calls us and says, "Hey, we want to fight," I say, "Okay, cool. Let me look at this box rec. We got it. We'll take it. We'll take anything. We'll take that fight on 2 weeks' notice. Cool, we coming." They go look at him on Instagram or they go look at him on YouTube and they'll cancel that immediately. So he's 1-0. He's been 1-0 for a year because we're waiting for guys that will actually pay him to fight them because we don't have the budget to say I'm going to put 100K behind you to go, and get you fights. He don't have the backing. So he's just waiting for guys to actually want to fight him. Nobody want to fight him. You know what I'm saying? And I wouldn't want to fight him either because the boy knuckles look like aliens, like alien hands or something. He'd knock skin off your face, like for real, and can box though. Not a guy that's like I'm just a puncher. He's not a Deontay Wilder. He's 147 pounds, but if he hits you, he will knock skin off your face, like for real. But he ain't going nowhere unless unless something else pans out for me where I could just say, all right, man, here I got a $200,000 budget. Let's just take a run at it before you're too old. You know what I mean? But that's how it goes. That's how it goes. Yeah, Duhaney. That's what we did. We took him to Mexico, Donnie Darko. But COVID fucked us up. Like we went to Mexico and then COVID happened. And it's like somebody told me, my contact in Tijuana that we was fucking with or that we were messing with said, I don't want to be. He said, you don't want to be in Tijuana right now. And you know why that is? Because the power vacuum that's taking place after they got rid of El Chapo's son is now like crazier in Tijuana than it was. Those were guys like actually keeping the peace. Like you can go and be like, if you were a foreigner, you can go in these blocks. Just don't leave that area. You cool. It ain't like that no more. It's like go down there and it's your ass. So it's hard to move a guy in Mexico right now. I'm waiting for somebody to tell me that it's not. I'll be right back down there because it's only like $800 a fight. I can go down there with $3,000-$4,000 and run off 4 or 5 fights for him real quick. Get his ranking is up so he can start making more and he can start. It's not worth it to fight a guy that's 4-0 for $1,500 as a B-side. It's not worth it to them because they're gonna come pay us to beat their guy. Whereas it's worth it to them at like 10-0, where it's like, okay, this is time for them to prove it and step up. They need tough competition that's not proven yet. So they would come get our guy for something like that. They're not coming to get him for a guy that's 4-0 and he 1-0. They don't want to fight that because it's like he might lose and then you're wasting all your investment is dead. If a 4-0 guy loses to my guy in a bad way, his career is over. You know what I'm saying? You're like you wasted that talent. You want to protect that talent until they're in the rankings where they can actually make some money. Because if you would, I wouldn't even do that to Hawk. I wouldn't go get a guy like Hawk to fight Hawk while he's moving up. I wouldn't do that. That would be crazy. Because if I did that to him, it's like even if he wins, you're damaging your guy for what? Like why take that damage this early for no money? You only gonna get $3K for it, $4K for it. Nah, it's not worth that. But when you start getting in the rankings and you're like 50K 4 times a year, you got yourself a living. You're making 6 figures, you good. 75K. You don't have to be Floyd to make money as a boxer. You just got to be in the teens and ranked, and you got to be able to fight. So that's it. But yeah, man, y'all got me talking about boxing is going in. Donnie Darko, appreciate that super chat, man. But y'all got me going in on boxing now. So the Mike McCarthy convo is in the beginning of this video. I definitely nailed it with that though. That the one that was streaming live on Facebook. Yep, that's hot. That's hot. The one that knocked the Mexican ball. He knocked you out with hit him in the body and knocked his face off. I'll put that up. I'll put that full. It's only 30 seconds. I'll put that full fight on my channel. Like this week, I'll do it. What's up, Jamal Wilson? But yeah, that was funny. That dude did not want to fight either. He Mexican. He did not want to fight us, man. But yeah, that's how it goes, man. Yeah. He said, man, Wilder sent people to heaven. Yes, he does. He said, AKOYE sent me the link for Facebook live stream. By the time I clicked it, the shit was already over with, and AKOYE standing in the ring. Yeah, facts, man. That shit was over. It was over quick. I didn't even get to do no coaching in that fight. It was just like, hey, you know what I mean? What's my Garcia Davis? You mean? Oh, what's my take on the Garcia versus Davis? Garcia, he has a chance. His only chance is the fact that he has fast hands. If he can hurt Gervonta, the only way for Garcia to win that fight is for Garcia to do things that he's not accustomed to doing. And that's coming forward, being an aggressive pressure fighter. But the one thing that he would have to do is the one thing that will get him hurt, which is coming forward and actually attacking Gervonta. Because you see what Rolly did. Rolly Romero was able to do that, but Rolly Romero is a wild man. Garcia don't fight like that. He kind of fight back and lays back, and he waits for things to come to him. If he does that against Gervonta, if you let Gervonta come at you multiple times, you're done. You want Gervonta to think about defense. You want him thinking about defense, even if he's countering you in between that and he hurts you while doing that, cool, because at least he's not attacking. If Gervonta is attacking Garcia, Garcia don't have the feet to get away from him. He got good hand speed, but he don't got the feet. So unless he can catch him, he can clip him coming in, I don't think he can win that fight. Now, if he for some reason pressed the fight for the first 5 rounds, and got up to an obvious lead, and then could get Gervonta coming in a little bit more desperate after that, he might be able to clip him coming in and get him out of here. But the only way Ryan Garcia could beat Gervonta Davis is if he knocks him out, and I don't think he can knock him out. That's the only way he could beat him. Other than that, he lost. Gervonta could beat him on points and can definitely knock him out. So when you're looking at both those guys, it's like, I don't think Garcia has the power to just get him out of here with one shot. Although he's gotten guys out of here with one shot, his left hook is that shot. And against a southpaw, it's very hard for anybody who's boxed. It's very hard to land a left hook against a southpaw unless you lead with your right hand, get that leverage, or clear your head. You got to clear his right shoulder with your head, and then you got to leverage to throw your left hook coming back across. But you got to lead right hand and come back with that. And that's hard to do because most guys are used to setting up their offense with their left hand, and he's not going to be able to do that against Gervonta. His feet is going to get him out of here. If Gervonta know where you at and all he got to do is put his head down, throw haymakers, and he can find you, he's going to beat you. The only guy that I would say you should watch if you want to see how to beat Gervonta Davis, even though he lost, is not Rolly Romero. Everybody think it's Rolly. Rolly was just a bigger guy that Gervonta had to pay attention to. But the last Garcia that he fought tried that shit and he can't even fight no more. He about to be retired. Because I don't think you aggressively run down at a guy who can punch that hard going backwards. I wouldn't tell my guy to do it. The fight that you watch is Leo Santa Cruz, though. Leo Santa Cruz fucked up only because he threw the same punch 3 times and he let Gervonta timing. Other than that, he fought an excellent fight against Gervonta. Spence, what's up, man? That's my man. Me and Spence grew up together. He know we box around here, man. He know what's up. Spence he from the land. He from down West Philly where Schuler's gym is at. You know what I mean? There's boxing gyms everywhere, but Spence my guy, man. He said exactly. Garcia is too stationary. You're exactly right. Put together another fishing trip too, bro. I need to catch some fish, man. I need to get on the water. That'd be fun. Pitbull. You said Pitbull versus who? Versus who? Gervonta? Gervonta had knocked Pitbull out. Pitbull good though, but Gervonta had knocked Pitbull right out. Rolly, no, I think they went. Didn't they go 12 rounds or something already? Him and Pitbull, maybe. I'm thinking wrong. Rolly got knocked out by Floyd, other young bull. Same way. Tank took him out. Yeah, Rolly exposed. Rolly sloppy. He just Rolly a wrestler actually. He's not really a boxer. Rolly is like a wrestler that became a boxer, so he's not a natural boxer. He don't know how to box. He said definitely. My pop was just talking about fishing. Yeah, let's do it. I can't wait. Put something together. I fucked them fish up too. We was tearing that shit up. I think Davis going to run into the same problem Canelo will. His height will limit him when he inevitably goes to 147. No, it won't. Not at 147. Look up a dude named Dwight Cowie. Dwight Cowie, or his real name before he became Muslim was Daryl. Yeah, I think Daryl Baxter or something like that. But Dwight Cowie. Dwight Cowie is 5'6", cruiserweight. Fought Evander Holyfield at 5'6". Evander Holyfield 6'2". Gervonta 5'6". Him fighting he used to fighting guys that's 5'8", 5'9", and that's the average height of a welterweight. 5'8", 5'9", 5'10". It ain't too many 6-foot welterweights. And so I don't think that's gonna limit him at 147 at all. And he'll knock the shit out of a welterweight too. So I think you're wrong on that one. You're wrong on that one. There's a lot of short guys that really can box. Yep. And he one of them. I honestly think Haney and Stevenson can make it interesting on points. Against Gervonta, the problem is Stevenson is a southpaw. Stevenson does not have a southpaw advantage against Gervonta because they both southpaws. Gervonta will have more arsenal against Stevenson than he have against most of the guys he ever fight. He's going to knock the shit out of Stevenson. Haney, maybe, but Haney's best attribute is his quick jab. And Gervonta is a southpaw, which isolates and kind of takes that jab away. So he would have to open up and do more. Haney would have to do more offensively to beat Gervonta. And I don't think he has that. He is a jab guy. Great jab, one of the best jabs, offensive and defensive jabs in the business. But yeah, no.
He said, yeah, Rolly was legit judo, legit judo player. Yeah, he's a wrestler. Well, I'm almost lost now, Okoye. We're all football now on the boxing. Okay, all blessed. Okoye Media is kicking me out. I'm actually getting out anyway. That's why I'm talking boxing anyway. I'm about to get out my damn self. So yeah, you definitely lost on this one. You can jab against a southpaw, but not an ultra athletic one such as Davis. You can only jab against a southpaw going to your right. Can Haney do that? Yeah. But if you're going off to your right, you get that leverage. But the problem is when you go off to your right to jab a southpaw, you walking in line with that left hand. You gotta be perfect all night. But it's like a typewriter. You go boop, 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 set back. So you go off to your right until he engages with that left, and then you step back over to your left. That's how you have your fighter fight when you want to jab him. But if you keep going to your left, you never jab a southpaw. All right. Let me see. He said, I just think that they can make angles with their legs. Oh, yeah, they could do that. But they can't get through a whole fight. They had to fight perfect to beat him. And I don't think they can fight him perfect. They don't fight a style that scares him. That's the problem. You gotta do what Rolly did. You gotta threat. Rolly and Garcia both got that. They can threaten to hurt um Davis. I don't think Haney or Stevenson are scary enough. Stevenson can't hurt you, and neither can Haney. So they can hurt you enough to like make you they can sting you, but not. I think I'm gonna get knocked out by trying to hurt you. So what you gonna keep him off with? What you gonna do with that besides make him mad? You know what I mean? Charlo boys is on steroids, bro. I don't. They not great at anything. They're not great defensively, not great offensively. They can hit very hard, but how is it that dudes like them two and Spence all got the same thing? They don't got no great defense. They ain't got nothing special. They hit very hard. They don't get tired, but it's like and they don't got defense. Like get hit, but it just don't ever hurt them. Why is that? Look into a guy. See, I know where all the bodies is buried. Look into a guy named Victor Conti who owns snack packs. I ain't hating. But he just so happened to be the same guy that was doing the blood doping for Lance Armstrong. Remember that? He had a company called Balco. They used to do nothing but it was like if you ain't cheating over there, you ain't trying. And now he owns snack packs. And it just so happens that every fighter I see that's on snack packs heavy, you can't hurt him. You can hit him clean. You can't hurt him for shit. So until I see, and then I seen Jamil Charlo or Jermel, whatever one they was fighting when they was fighting Tony Harrison in the corner. He clearly got a clear water bottle. Got a water bottle like this. He was drinking out of for 4 rounds. When he got tired, they pulled out the cloudy Gatorade bottle and they was giving him that. And he suddenly got a burst of energy that nobody can account for. So I think they own some shit, personally speaking. That's just what I think. That don't mean they not okay. But I think they on some shit. Hurd was as well. You know, all those snack pack fighters from Texas. Sorry, Texas. But those snack pack Texas fighters, they don't got no defense, but they walk straight through shit. Spence walk straight through shit. Charlo brothers walk straight through shit and don't ever feel it. How is that possible? I don't know. Against punchers at that, I don't know. Eastside Harold, you know what it is. He said Holyfield was named in that investigation. Yeah, Holyfield was another dude who could do that. How you little, you a cruiserweight walking through heavyweight punches like it wasn't nothing. J-Rock on snack packs now. Yeah, but he wasn't on snack packs when he beat the shit out of Hurd though. He wasn't on snack packs when he was beating the shit out of Jamel and got knocked out. He wasn't on it then. You can see it. He was beating the shit out of him. Got caught one time. It was over. He said, no, Jamel is actually good. Who has he fought? You tell me that, then we can talk. He said J-Rock went to bed, long nap. I give J-Rock his credit. J-Rock is not an A-side fighter, but he was a unified champ as a B-side fighter. You don't know how hard that is. With no backing, him and Breadman did some things. Like that was an amazing feat. Jamel has crazy speed, reflexes, footwork. I've watched him for years. He hardly ever get hit. What? Did you see the 2 fights against Brian Constant, whatever his name is, Cazano or Costazano? He gets hit. He just don't feel it. Doreen, when he fought Doreen, I think his name was, in Madison Square Garden, I was there. He gets hit. He don't feel shit. And they weight bullies on top of the fact that they own some shit. They weight bullies anyway. A weight bully is a fighter who really ain't a natural fighter for this weight, but he's able to make the weight. Like Oscar De La Hoya, who's really a guy that walks around at 185, 200 pounds, but can make 147 somehow. That's a weight bully. He's bigger than you. So it's already harder to hurt him. Then you got a guy like the Charlo brothers are cruiserweights or light heavyweights at best that can make middleweight and junior middleweight somehow. But they not good at their natural weight. Like they supposed to be fighting guys like uh Better Be. They supposed to be fighting those guys. They up there. They that big. They big as shit. They weight bullies. He said Mel not so much. He's at 160. They only 6 pound difference. They are weight bullies. Spence a weight bully too. Spence is a fucking light heavyweight. Spence big as shit that can make welterweight. That's why he walked through punches. Because only a few guys at welterweight hit hard enough to get him out of here with one punch. He walked straight through shit. Those dudes can't hurt him. He said that was a great fight when Tony Harrison beat her. You mean when J-Rock beat her? Yeah, that was a great fight. My fighters, Anas Masoudi was his sparring partner, J-Rock's sparring partner leading up to that Hurd fight. We didn't even know. He said, "You make me sick of Koye box." You mad because I speak the truth. I ain't going to lie on, especially when it comes to boxing. I ain't going to lie on these guys, man. You think Spence beating Bud? I think they cancel each other out. Bud is more creative offensively than Spence. So I think if you ask a guy, like if Spence does what he normally does, there is a guy at welterweight, two guys at welterweight that are strong enough to hurt Spence if he tries to walk you down the way he walks everybody else down. And that's Bud and Boots. They'll knock him the fuck out. So Bud is very, very creative offensively. And if he goes southpaw with Spence because he gets in trouble, when he gets in trouble, he goes southpaw. If he goes southpaw with Spence in that fight, he will beat Spence because he got more offensive firepower than Spence. Spence is just a relentless black Mexican. Don't nobody like when I say it, but he fight like a Mexican. He a black guy to fight like a Mexican. He come forward, pressure fighter, and he will fuck you up. Like, but he's not a wiggle room type of guy. He's not a boxer. He's like a pressure fighter, like Mexicans. And I think Bud has more offensive firepower than Spence does. So I think Bud can beat Spence off of points and can actually knock Spence out. I think Spence would have to wear Bud down somehow. And that's the only thing so they cancel each other out because Spence could definitely get Bud into a firefight and Bud would be in trouble. That could happen. McCoy, you know what's crazy? Thurman ducked Spence, and I think he could have beat him before his body turned to shit. Bullshit. Thurman, man, watch Thurman versus Luis Collazo. Thurman versus a southpaw that banged to the body is the worst thing he could ever fight. When he fought Luis Collazo knew he wasn't supposed to win that fight. I think they paid Luis Collazo to lose that fight. And when Luis Collazo fought, Thurman, he hit Thurman in like the 5th round with a body shot that wrecked him. And he didn't even try to finish him. He never tried to finish him. He let him. And then they finished the fight later. It was like, he was happy to lose. But I'm like, dog, you won this. Luis Collazo won that fight. He could have beat him. I think they paid him to lose. But Thurman in his prime was okay. He reminds me of Amir Khan with a better chin. They both guys that can run all day, fight on a bicycle all day, and can punch pretty good. But a guy that got levels to him will dismantle those dudes. Right? And I think Thurman is more the same. All right, let's see. He says Spence, the only boxer I see right now. I could be wrong. That attacks the body. That still attacks the body. Better Biev attacks the body. Canelo attacks the body. All of Breadman fighters attack the body. Yeah. Yeah, Bud not really a body puncher, but he can punch to the body. But he not really like known for it. Boots versus Crawford, who I don't think neither one of them can beat Boots. If they could, they would be trying to make that happen in 2 years. You would hear them try to talk that fight up. I don't hear nobody talk like they want to fight no motherfucking Boots. Like, no, they don't want to do it. Any good boxing heavyweights coming up? Yeah, Big Baby Miller. He knocked the shit out you out of Ohio. That's my man Juan, little cousin. He a killer. Yeah, Big Baby. Who else? Heavyweight. Oh, I seen Rockman's little brother. Although he a cruiserweight right now, or yeah, cruiserweight, he gonna be a heavyweight. I seen him break a dude's. He hit a guy. He hit a guy in the arm and broke his arm. Ended the fight with a broken arm. He broke his arm with a punch. I ain't never seen nobody do that, except for Roy Jones. I mean, against Eric Harden from Philly. Eric Harden defense was so tight, he kept hitting him on his bicep. He knocked his bicep off. But this dude broke a nigga. Excuse me, broke a person's arm in a boxing match. Man, that was crazy. Yeah, I think his name Big Baby. They call him Big Baby. What's his name? Is it Miller? Let me see. Let me see. Oh no, it's Big Baby Anderson. Not the other Big Baby Miller is Miller, the fat boy. Big Baby Anderson, Jared Anderson. That's his name. Jared Anderson. Boots better work on not getting hit so much. What? Before he steps in the ring with Crawford or y'all crazy. Boots don't get hit a lot, bro. You out your mind. Psycho. You out your mind. You said Ohio, that's why I was confused. Oh yeah. It's Anderson. It's Jared Anderson. My bad. Because there is a Big Baby Miller, but he from the UK or some shit like that. He like 300 pounds. He said salt poppy. I got the salt and pepper. That's what you talking about. I don't know what you mean. Yeah, Mushin. What his name is Mushin. Mushin. What the fuck is his last name? Mushin though is Hasim Rockman little brother. Broke a dude's arm by punching him in his arm. What's his name? Kason. Mushin Kason. Something like that. I see him all the time. Man. Funny dude. But yeah, I think that's his name. Mushin. Mushin Kason or something like that. Something like that. But he's a good heavyweight too. He'll be a heavyweight eventually. Big Baby Miller from Brooklyn. I didn't know that. Yeah, he said he's an influencer boxer. Yeah, he is. One thing Floyd has people confused as to think being good defenses and not elite defense makes people think boxers get hit a lot. No, Floyd got hit a lot too. Like people just don't remember shit. If I broke down when I break down a fighter, I watch when they get hit. Like Floyd been busted up quite a few times in fights. When he fought Drunken Master, he got hit a lot. When he fought Jose Luis Collazo, he got hit a lot. When he fought Demarcus Chop Corley, he got hit a lot. He was getting hit. When he fought Cotto, he got hit a lot. When he fought Maidana wears Floyd Mayweather's tooth on his fucking neck right now because he knocked his tooth out of his mouth. So he gets hit. People just don't understand what they're looking at. They watching the guy that they like. They watch with confirmation bias, so they think Floyd never got hit. Floyd got hit a lot. He just got a chin. Floyd was getting hit. He said older Floyd got hit way less. True, but it wasn't like so. Like I said, Maidana was older Floyd. He get hit. He got hit even then. It's just people don't pay attention to it. Marcos Maidana knocked the shit out of him. And Floyd's defense, what Floyd did do though, the shoulder roll comes from Philly. Georgie Benton created the shoulder roll. We know how to do it here, and a fighter from Philly knows what to do against it. You can't because everybody does it here. So you can't shoulder roll against a guy who gains ground. You only can shoulder roll when you control distance with a wide base or you're a southpaw. But Floyd got everybody shoulder rolling because they think that that's his best defense. I challenge you, any fight, the Zab Judah fight when he was getting hit, Cotto fight when he was getting hit, watch any fight with Floyd in trouble and see if you do a shoulder roll. You don't shoulder roll unless you're a bum. He shoulder roll against guys who don't know what they're doing. The only guys who really shoulder roll all day, or one of my favorites was James Toney. He'll shoulder roll you all day. But Floyd only shoulder roll when you are a bum and you can't do nothing to him. So if you're looking at a Floyd and a Floyd fight, watch him in fights where he was in trouble. He put both his hands up. So if his best defense was his shoulder roll, he would do that when he in trouble. When he in trouble, he don't shoulder roll because that's not the best defense. The best defense is put your motherfucking hands up, put your chin down. And Floyd does that every time he got hurt. When he fought Shane Mosley clipped him 2 times, almost knocked him out, right? What Floyd do immediately? This. Put his hands right up. So if that was his best defense, he'd have been shoulder rolling against Shane Mosley. He ain't shoulder roll Shane because he tried that shit, and Shane Mosley knocked the shit out of him as soon as he tried that. Like, nah. Floyd is just he a lot tougher than people gave him credit for. He's been busted up and beaten up a lot. It's just he knows how to, like you said, he knows how to adjust. He gets body beat a lot, but he just he prepares for that. It also limits counters. It shortens up your right hand because it makes it so that the guy has to step all the way into your wheelhouse for you to be able to fire a right hand. You can't reach anybody with that right hand, nor can you step because they got that hip lock because they turning that right foot so that they can roll away. They turn that right foot all the way out, but that puts their feet like ducks where their feet is wrong. So now, in order to walk forward, they got to point that right foot forward. So that's where Floyd started doing those pull counters and quick right hands. But he kind of has to telegraph it because they know if it's a wide base, he's shoulder rolling. If his right foot is facing you, if both feet are facing you, then he coming with quick right hands. You know what he's doing. But yeah. Anyway, I'm done. I gotta go to the gym my damn self right now, man. Y'all got me hype about some boxing though. So I was answering y'all boxing questions. I didn't know so many of y'all love boxing, so I'll start doing boxing videos. I keep saying that, but when I do them, y'all don't watch them. But go look at like I said, YSM Sports Media. I'll put that in here and type in AKOYE. You'll find a lot of boxing content. Put that in on YouTube, and I'm over there. So he comes. That's my man Mill. He'll come here. He'll interview me, or he'll interview me in gyms, and that content is out there. I just probably don't do enough to share it. You know what I'm saying? I probably should share it a little bit more. Spence, man, put that fishing trip together. Hit me up, man. I'm there. I need to go see T right now. I need to go get a fucking haircut. So I'll probably see you around anyway. But I'm out of here. He said folks gotta get folks who watch your YSM stuff to realize you have a YouTube channel. Yeah, they don't know. They be over there like, who is this guy? Yeah. He said Danian Harris AKOYE. I don't know him. Say AKOYE, can Philly really afford their players back? No, they can't. Philly, they tried to buy a Super Bowl last year and they lost because of that. That's over for them. They gonna have to blow that team up a little bit. AKOYE Media, are you happy now? Yeah, I'm happy. Kenneth Lott, yo, Cowboys fan talk. What's up, man? I was talking boxing at the end. Y'all gotta go to the beginning of this video when I get off here to see what I was talking about Mike McCarthy. Shout out to you though. That's my guy. Him and Kenneth Lott. He said, "Are you happy now?" Hell yeah, I'm happy, bro. Get Kellen Moore the fuck out of here and let's run the ball. You know what I'm saying? He said, "Need AKOYE Media need more videos." What more do you want from me, man? I'm always out here, man. He said most of them don't know. I try sending them over here because the comments are also filled with, "I want to hear more content from this dude." Yeah, they don't know that I got a YouTube channel. I don't know why, but I need to put that out more. I mean, I need to do more marketing for sure. I see you on both. How you get away for rocking with Dallas living in Philly? Why you think I know how to box? Because you gotta be able to argue. Motherfuckers here curse you out, man. Your own family, if it won't even help you, because they like we with this guy. You know what I mean? They know. I went to the Super Bowl Super Bowl party when they won the Super Bowl. I'm sitting in a house full of Philly fans that's talking shit in my face, man, all day. That's just the way it is. I'm from Texas. I was raised here, so and then Emmitt Smith and Ray Lewis got the same birthday as me, so I used to always want to be Emmitt Smith. I used to just like Emmitt Smith. When I learned about football, Emmitt Smith was my guy. So I used to think I was running back, and I liked the Cowboys because he was my favorite running back. That's all. And then I just loved the Cowboys ever since I was a kid because of that. I'm a Philly sports fan everywhere else, especially boxing and basketball, but I don't really watch basketball after AI. And boxing, I go do it. I don't really watch it. So That's it. But yeah, everywhere else I'm Philly. But when it comes to the football, it's Cowboys all day, and I will bleed for it. You know what I mean? That's how. But yeah, man. Uh, he said, "I've been told your boxing comment is fire, and keep talking your shit." Oh yeah. Boxing commentary is on point. It's on point. I don't do bad with that. This channel would probably be bigger if it was a boxing channel. Be honest with you. But all y'all love the Cowboys and y'all don't watch boxing content. So when I put it out there, y'all don't watch it. Although I told you I went viral with the Tyson Fury video, but they beat me up so bad. How you get 2 strikes for one video? I got one more strike and I'm out. I don't know. Maybe it's a grace period, and maybe they gave me my 3 strikes back now, my 3 lives. But they said you get one more strike and your channel is done. So I said I'm not putting no more boxing shit up. That was like March of 2020. I stopped doing it. He said, "Al, you showing your age, bro." I'm showing my age, or who showing the age, Spence? Oh, you talking about because I said AI? Oh yeah. I stopped watching since AI. I don't like basketball no more, man. Oh, speaking of which, it's in the comment. I'm horrible at marketing. It's in the comments. Bet US Sportsbook. If any of y'all do bet anything, whether it's basketball, boxing, MMA, use Bet US Sportsbook, which is in the description of this video, and use code word AKOYE, and you'll get points off and money towards gambling and all that other good shit. I made money with them all season, but I just wasn't promoting them as much as I should. I was tripping with that. Then I opened up a can of worms. Iceberg Q did. Yeah. You talking about Island Iverson? I know, Spence. Yep. Yeah. That definitely fucked me up. They got pissed off at me. They was like, "Yo, get him out of here." They tried to get rid of my whole page. So I was like, "I'm never doing that again." But I got like 300,000 views. That did better than the Des Bryant not guilty video in a week, in one week, like 2 weeks, something like that. It was not. They was not stopping. Like that was. I caught a vein. I hit a vein with that one, but it was good. But I know that YouTube's algorithm didn't flag me because they let it stay up. They didn't care it was up. So somebody, I think it was MGM Entertainment or some entertainment, whoever owned the rights to one of the fights, called or emailed them and told them to get me, and they got me. So that was it. But all right, I'm going now for real. All right, talk to y'all soon, man. Love y'all. Love what I do. I'm out. Y'all got me tired before the gym, and my neck already hurting, man. So let's get it. All right, man. Peace.